Hey, how you guys doing again? It's Mikey here with another random podcast. It's 10:35 in the a.m. And no surprise, I'm once again with my buddy Brandon because I help him out on his routes for sexual favors. I said that in the last...
It feels good, too.
But, anywho, my friend brought up that it sounds... each time I bring up the topics on hallucinogens, psychedelics, DMT, he thought I sounded like apprehensive about it, and I just told him that it's not that. I just don't want to sound repetitive and be redundant. But since he brought that to my attention, I'm gonna say fuck it, and I'm gonna do this whole podcast strictly on psychedelics. So my buddy Brandon here, who you should know by now, I'm going to ask him if he has any experiences with any of these chemicals and which one. And tell me about your first time. What did you take and what did you see? If the first time it had any effect at all.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Okay, I sure can. Can you tell me the first hallucinogen you took and what you felt off it? What you saw, the whole 9 yards.
I took a...
Speak louder, please.
I took acid.
Okay. I've been ripped off each time on that, but go on.
Remember those, like, mint things you get, you just put on your tongue?
Let it dissolve?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. Yeah.
And that's what it was. It was green like that, too. And my buddy had brought it down from Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
And we both tried it and basically chilled in my garage, and I noticed when it hit that I was smoking a cigarette and the smoke, it went to 3D. Like,
the smoke when you were smoking your cigarette?
Yeah, it was like 3D smoke.
It's hard to explain it, of course.
I mean, obviously we live in a three-dimensional world.
Do we?
It's, I don't know. It just seemed like the smoke had depth to it.
Right, dude, you don't gotta explain it to me. Like, everyone sounds like a retard trying to explain their trip experience because words don't do it justice.
And, like, I just laughed. Everything was funny, like...
Okay.
Stuff would happen on a commercial, like, usually it would just
I'm sorry,
make you
I'm
laugh.
sorry, how many hits did you take?
One.
Okay. And this is the first time ever?
First time ever.
Okay.
Didn't know what to expect. And it was great. I enjoyed it. I laughed. It lasted like about, I'd say, 4 to 6 hours. Probably 4 good hours. And my cheeks hurt so bad that I was laughing, just joking around. I remember one of my friends was there and he wasn't tripping, and my other friend was. And he got a chainsaw out and was fucking with him, saying he was going to cut his head off and shit, and he was getting really scared, and we're all laughing at him. Kind of, like, not cool to do, but...
Yeah, for sure.
But it was funny. I don't know.
Rest in peace over here.
Like I said, like, laughing so hard your cheeks hurt, you're...
That's the best feeling.
In blissfulness. Your mind is in bliss. Nothing worries you. And
no anxiety.
There's not even a sense of it.
Well,
unless you freak yourself out about the acid.
And then you can get
which
the
that's
ultimate
happened to me
anxiety.
on another trip before. When I was in North Carolina, I took acid with my brother and father, and everything, same thing, laughing, but it was more intense, like, I think it was because of the atmosphere. A lot of it depends on your atmosphere when you're tripping, okay? Mm-hmm. So the atmosphere, I was out in the mountains,
right?
Like an Indian having a spiritual journey or something, just chilling in the dock fishing, and all the colors were illuminated. Like,
could you paint with the colors of the wind?
Like, imagine the colors being so bright and vivid.
Oh, I'm familiar.
The cars, like, would drive by, and it would be like if I was taking a picture really fast, snap, 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 and the car's
trail.
going, there's like a trail behind.
Yeah.
And I remember my dad had a yellow rod, and he was whipping it up and down, and it looked like just one yellow circle because of the trail. But all of a sudden, I seemed like I was lifted from the dock and transported over to the other side and floating around.
It's fucking.
And then, as soon as I realized like what was going on, like this is weird, you know, I came back too, and then I'm sitting at the dock where I was before, looking over at my dad and brother, you know, and I started like freaking out because that was like the weirdest shit that's ever happened to me in my life, and I had to calm myself down and told myself, oh, I'm just tripping, and I felt better again.
Well, for me, my first experience on a psychedelic was my buddy had a purple ringer bigger than a sand fucking dollar. It was huge. And we just split it in half. I didn't know what to expect. And the first thing I noticed to where, okay, something's happening, something's kicking in, this ain't right, but just try to ride it out and don't freak myself out. I looked down at my legs. They looked like they were fucking pretzels. Like they were just like...
Really?
Yeah, it was wild.
I never really got... Like,
and I told my friend, I asked my friend who I was with, I was like...
Images like that intense.
Oh, well...
I mean, I saw like faces in trees, you know, and like you'd look at some, like the ground, like you were saying, it would be like wavy a little bit.
Yeah, you see the spots disappear, the concrete.
But I never saw like, looked over and saw like a monster or a clown or something.
Right. But after that time when I was tripping, and it was my first time, I can honestly say, as the kids say, I tripped balls. Like, I can't think of a time besides the 2 times I got ripped off on acid to where I did not trip my mind off. Obviously, the one that did it the most was DMT. I'll get to that in a second. But I have more mushroom stories because I've done mushrooms more and they're fascinating to me. Psilocybin, it's fucking incredible fucking chemical in these things and the fungi. But I remember there was a field somewhere out behind this soccer field, and we'd go there. We went 7 days straight, no exaggeration. And on the 6th day, everything was going good. And then I remember I was at my buddy's house, and I just started staring off into the ground, like not in the ground, in the kitchen floor, the back patio floor. No one was around me, and all of a sudden, I had this. My mind, like, I don't know how to explain it, because like I said before, they're hard to explain, so just bear with me and try to understand. I just remember staring off, and then eventually my mind went blank. Like, this is going to sound weird, but I didn't know what anything meant. I didn't know what friends meant. I didn't know if they mattered, and that sounds awful. I didn't know if they really cared for me. I just felt negative. It was a super negative vibe, and I told my friend to drive me home, which is always a bad idea, but I did. And when I got home, I remember I turned on my TV in my room, and the first thing I saw on my TV, maybe it was on the History Channel, maybe this image on the TV was actually going on, or maybe it wasn't, but what I saw was a burning ship getting, like Titanic style, getting sunk down in flames with people screaming, and that didn't calm my nerves, obviously, so I kept flipping through the channels, and news reporters, everything that I flipped to seemed like everything was hostile, and there were just all the negative energy was being like directed specifically for me. And I remember thinking I was dying. I remember hearing in my head, these were the words kept on repeating: psilocybin, psilocybin, psilocybin. You finally overdid it, Mike. You always want to push the limits, and now look what you did. You fried your brain. Your family's going to find you dead on your couch, curled up like a fucking retard. And they probably wouldn't think I'm a retard, but it was scary. But then all of a sudden a calm came over. I guess a good way to explain it. It was, like I said, it started off good. It was a heavenly trip. Went to hell. And then I went back to heaven. I felt like I survived the end of the world, hands down. It was insane. And then the next day, my friend wanted to do it again. And I said, dude, that trip really shook the shit out of me. And I think I had what some people call ego death. If you're not familiar with it, look it up. And you'll understand. And, but yeah, so anyways, the next day my friend wanted to do it, and I was scared, of course, because of the night before. And then I said, fuck it, let's do it, let's see what happens. And beautiful trip, except for that one. And that's the only bad trip I've ever had. I've had moments where I've had moments of paranoia. Oh, and by the way, if you want to watch a movie, Trippin', Fear and Loathing Las Vegas with Johnny Depp, that movie is meant for you to have your tripping experience that much more amplified, 100%. They put shit in that movie for that reason. And it was amazing. I saw it sober, then I saw it tripping, and it's a whole new world. Now, the DMT, the first time I did it, not only was I amazed about how fast it kicked in, because it was literally, I didn't know what was going on, maybe 5 minutes, if that, maybe less. It was just boom, like everything went, and once again, I can't explain it, but the one thing I can remember, and I can tell you right now, is I brought this up in one of my old podcasts. My car was unrecognizable. My steering wheel seat just pushed forward. All the lights in my car were no longer the colors of my car. And then the tint to my window was the most vivid yellow I've ever seen in my life. Like I've never seen yellow before, so bright. And then I was amazed by that. And then I looked down to observe the car more and, observe this spaceship I'm all of a sudden in. And I looked back up to the windshield to see if it was still yellow tinted, and it was, but at this point, it was like scanning the garage. Like, it had this bright yellow, neon yellow, scan the garage, and there's a trail of what the real color of the garage was, and it kept on looping that over and over again. And you hear people talk about geometrical patterns. That's a real thing. I get it, because everything was connected to a geometric pattern. It was wild. And I've done DMT twice now, and I don't know, they're both the most intense experiences I've ever had in my life. I don't know if one was harder than the other necessarily, but each one had something to offer. I didn't see any of the DMT entities that you may have read about, but I wasn't there yet, but they were just a few floors above. I'll put it that way. I wasn't that far away from meeting these fucks. Like, I almost thought I fried my brain, but I had to catch myself, because I could have sent myself to hell. If you decide to ever try these things, make sure you're in a comfortable environment, people you trust, maybe have a buddy that's maybe sober to maybe watch after you, I don't know. But I think, and Joe Rogan said this, if you go your whole life without having a real breakthrough trip experience, not just the giggly I'm laughing thing, but a real breakthrough, you're missing out. And I firmly believe that. 7 seconds left. We're going to continue this podcast. Thank you for listening.